Am I the asshole for not sharing my inheritance with the rest of my family? My family situation is messy. I was engaged 4 years ago to my high school sweetheart. My fiancé cheated on me with my sister. We had never had a good relationship even as kids, so after I found out, I went scorched earth both of them. She was so in love with my fiancé, but he dumped her within 2 weeks and was back trying to get me to forgive him. I didn't. My parents were initially on my side, but my sister had a nervous breakdown after she was dumped and was hospitalized, so they changed their tune to "It's over now and you can't be mad forever." So I dumped them, too, and went to grad school on the other side of the country. My grandfather was livid with the whole thing, disowned my sister, and chewed out my parents. Sometimes it felt like he was the only one who was on my side and understood. I was able to get my job to let me work remotely and moved back to take care of him when he got sick last fall, and I was devastated when he passed a couple of months ago. I had been in limited contact with my parents since I came back, mostly because I didn't want to be an obstacle to my dad seeing my grandfather, but with the understanding that any discussion of my sister or what happened would end that. It turns out that my grandfather left me virtually everything. He left enough for my father to cover a debt and some token stuff for a couple of other relatives, but he wrote letters for everyone and did a videotape with his attorney explaining what his intentions were. I knew that he had done well for himself, but he lived a pretty simple lifestyle, so I didn't realize how much money and assets he really had. I would give it all up to have my papa back, but even after taxes it is set for life money. My parents are pretty mad about it. One of the reasons stated for cutting them out was how disappointed my grandfather was with how they had treated me growing up vs my sister and over the fiancé debacle. There were other reasons, but that's what they're fixated on. The will is pretty airtight apparently, so my parents want me to do the right thing and share it equally between me, them, and my sister. Their argument is that I don't need it. I make more than both of them combined and this would allow them to retire. My sister is not doing great and can't hold a job, so this would ensure she has something for when my parents pass. I don't want to. My grandfather's wishes were crystal clear, and also I kind of don't feel like doing more than the minimum for any of them. They've been telling me that I'm being vindictive because of a mistake years ago. I can't deny there might be a little vindictiveness there. I don't want them to suffer necessarily, but I also don't feel like they deserve my help. My grandfather's wishes were crystal clear. Indeed. And you parents are, again, showing how awful they are by trying to emotionally manipulate you into going against those clear wishes. Your parents were free to patch up these relationships while your grandfather was alive. They didn't, and these are the consequences. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Don't share money with your truly terrible family. They don't deserve it. Take a nice, long vacation. And cut them off completely. The cherry on top others aren't mentioning is that you were taking care of him when he died. Your parents, even knowing that he had money they'd stand to inherit, couldn't be bothered. Of course you're justified in cutting contact. I wouldn't say a single word to them without going through an attorney. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If it isn't the consequences of their own actions coming back to bite them. If only any of them had cared about doing the right thing when your sister pulled her BS. It would be a disservice to your grandfather to ignore his expressly detailed and outlined wishes. You aren't being vindictive, it's literally what he wanted. Anything they are suffering from isn't yours to fix or carry for them. Edit grammar mistakes. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry your papa has gone. He sounds very loving and interesting by the way you speak about him here. That said, set your family connections on fire and walk away. That's what he would have wanted, and he granted you the means to do so. Walk tall, you've earned this. He videoed a wall because he knew they would try to contest it. Keep it as were his wishes. Calm as a bitch. Not the asshole. He left it to you for a reason. I'm sorry for everything you went through with your family. You may want to get a lawyer involved. Not the asshole. What you do with your inheritance is up to you. Don't let your parents lay a guilt trip on you. As he said, his wishes were crystal clear, and he went above and beyond to make that so. To go against that would be a betrayal of those wishes. Your parents shouldn't be relying on you to fund their retirement, and your sister is an adult and should be looking out for herself. You got over your ex, she should be able to as well. Not the asshole. This was not a simple mistake. Your sister didn't trip over a crack and land on your fiancé. She made a conscious choice to be involved with him. As for your parents, they could have supported her mental health without condoning her actions. Beyond all that, toxic is toxic, be it the relationships we find or family. People shouldn't get a pass just because you happen to share genes. It was your grandfather's wishes and you are honoring those, just like he honored you in life. Not the asshole. Don't let those assholes get a penny of that inheritance. They are greedy and treated you like crap. You were abused and need to go no contact. The best family is the one you choose. Not the asshole. They screwed you over with that fiancé issue, now they wanna do it again regarding your late grandfather's money. Just wanna add, I teared up a little regarding you and your grandfather being there for each other. Nta, do not give a dime. Not the asshole. You already shared your fiancé, no need to share your money. X200B. I have one question, just one. If they had left everything to them, would they cut you in? Not the asshole. Nope. You've already cut them out of your life and they are only coming back to get that inheritance. Don't share one penny. Especially after how they treat you. Karma a bitch sometimes, and they are now reaping what they sowed. Plus, why would you share your inheritance with family who speak to you like this? They put you down and make you feel like an hoping you'd cave in and do the right thing. Doing the right thing is honoring your grandpa's will, and if they need an explanation, show them that statement from your grandpa's will. Not the asshole. My condolences for your grandfather. But this was his request and you should honor that. Plus, your family is learning a very expensive lesson. Hopefully, they grasp a shred of having a conscience. Enjoy your life, OP. I am so sorry about your poor. It sounds like he was a stable, loving person in your life. It is hard saying goodbye to that person. Wasn't the renewed contact so your father could spend time with his father? Weren't they forbidden from mentioning your sister? Please go back to your new life and live it to its fullest. Not the asshole. Follow your grandfather's wishes. You're not the asshole if you do that. You don't owe them anything. Not the asshole. I'm sorry for your loss. Your papa clearly saw exactly how your family treated you and favored your sister. With his passing, he left you a final gift that will provide you with permanent freedom. Take it and celebrate the good and caring person he was. Your parents and sister will not change who they are. It's time to mourn them too. Not the asshole. Wills exist for a reason. If your grandfather wanted them to have more, he would have given them more. Don't sign anything and don't agree to anything verbally. Court cases have been decided on less. Just try not to react and move away when you can. And try to remain no contact. Not the asshole. Tell them to go kick rocks and ask your ex-fiancé for assistance. Not the asshole. The fact that honoring your grandfather's wishes just happens to include giving your sister nothing is simply a bonus. And I respect your grandfather's last will. Not the asshole. Your grandpa was pretty clear on his intentions. If he wanted them to have his money, it would have been left to them in the will. Move on without second thoughts or giving them a cent. So what if you're vindictive? Your grandpa was clear about why he wanted to do with his money. If it was meant for them to have it, they would have it. Your only job is to live a fulfilling life and leave trash like that where it belongs in the past. Not the asshole. I'm going to respect granddad's wishes. Actions have consequences. Not the asshole your parents' sister sound toxic and it's your papa's money and he did what he wanted with it. I wouldn't give them a dime and be happy that you had one amazing person who loved you so unconditionally. Not the asshole don't give them a dime. This is karma coming to bite all three of them in the ass. If they continue to bother you, block them, and if that doesn't work, file a police report for harassment and a restraining order if necessary depending on their next actions. Not the asshole honor your grandfather's wishes and stick to the very thorough final wishes with his estate. May his memory be a blessing.